Hi, everyone. My name is Roberto Bosch, and I'm the president of the LGBTQ Canes Affinity Group. And I'd like to welcome you tonight on behalf of all of our LGBTQ Cane members. We're thrilled to have alumni, families, and friends of the U from all over the country joining us for our first ever virtual social night hosted by the LGBTQ Canes Affinity Group. I'd like to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor tonight, Williamson Cadillac Buick GMC. They're a family-owned business committed to supporting the university and, of course, our LGBTQ community. And I also want to thank my fellow board members of the LGBTQ Canes and the alumni team who worked their magic so we could all be here tonight. I know you're all as excited as I am to hear from our speakers tonight, but before we get started, we have a few questions that we would like to ask via poll, and your answers are going to help us paint a clear picture of you, our audience, and where you're tuning in from. Okay. So what we'd like to know is this your first LGBTQ Canes event? And of course, where are you attending from? And most importantly, if you're interested in becoming more involved with our LGBTQ Canes affinity group. So we'll just give that a moment. All right, so it looks like we've got a couple of old friends and new friends. And not surprisingly, most of our audience is from the Southeast. And, very encouraging. Most of you said that you would like to get more involved with the LGBTQ Canes. So, at the very end, be sure to reach out to us and give us some feedback. And of course, let us know in what ways you would like to get involved. Now, before I turn things over to our speakers for the evening, I'd like to share a few logistics with you to ensure everyone gets the most out of our time together. And the chat feature will be available, so feel free to introduce yourself. If you see, some friends of yours, feel free to chat. Of course, add comment, and you can chat with us throughout the program. And should you have any questions, please submit those via the Q&A feature located at the bottom of your screen, and we're going to do our best to get through as many questions as possible. Now, let's get the program started. I'm eager and pleased to introduce our moderator and very special guest for tonight's program, Ms. Toto. So Ms. Toto graduated from the University of Miami in 2015 with a Master's of Professional Studies in Marine Affairs and Policy from the Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Science. She was voted Miami's best drag queen in 2018. She's an educator, a bodybuilder, podcaster, and an incredible voice within the activism community, raising over $50,000 last year for Black organizations. And please help us in welcoming Ms. Toto.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the show. Like Roberto said, thank you for the great introduction, by the way. My name is Ms. Toto. I am a Cane alumni. I graduated, like my little name tag says, in 2015 from the Rosenstiel School. Like being at Miami, I wouldn't be doing drag. Like I would not exist. Ms. Toto would not exist. I would exist without the U. And I remember my time there. My parents were very stressed and upset because when I should have been finishing my thesis, I was cross-dressing and starting my drag career. But I luckily did graduate and then still was able to have a lovely, I guess, looking successful drag career. So thank you. It's always like a full circle moment when I get to perform at UM and do events with UM. So it feels very great to be virtually home and doing this virtual happy hour with you all. So let's party. I have a cocktail and a little drink with me. Now that I can do this, y'all can't clock me on getting drunk on camera. So I would like to introduce Cocktail Uncultured, and they're gonna be taking the mystery out of what is in those cocktail glasses, y'all. So let me get their little bio, honey. So Cocktail Uncultured, we've got a UM alumni-owned business designed for everyone who wants to know and appreciate what's more in your glass. The owners, Yuri, Kishali, there we go, bitch, I can barely read, and Eric met at a local bar where Yuri started as a patron of Eric and Kishali. That grew into a strong friendship based on building delicious and innovative cocktails. And bitch, one of the reasons I went to Rosenstiel School is because there's the Wet Lab, which is the bar on campus. If you are unfamiliar, you need to, I'm sure it's closed now, but when things open up, you must go. So I would like to pass the floor and the mic over to Cocktail Uncultured.
Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much, Ms. Toto. That was really, really awesome. I really, really appreciate it. My name is Corey Sacro. This is Eric Vincent.
How you doing?
Yep, and like you said, Eric isn't, but I am a alumni of UM, actually the computer science program there. And I don't know if anybody remembers the computer lab, Unger, but I got stuck not once, but twice in those horrible, disgusting old elevators in that building. So, just one of the many quirks I remember of UM. Like Ms. Toto said, we are Cocktail and Culture, and we are here to take the mystery out of what's in your glass. We specialize in at-home virtual cocktail hours where we basically run through the full gamut of teaching you from the fundamentals all the way up to the advanced techniques of everything that is bartending, from the tools to the what we call the software, that is the liquors, the liqueurs, the mixers, everything. I'm an IT guy, so there's hardware and there's software. And today we are going to take you through making a Miami classic, and really it's Miami classic because it's a traditional Cuban cocktail, the mojito. So Eric is going to be building our cocktail for us, and he's going to take us really quickly through the rum that we're going to use.
So real quick, already said hardware, software. This is basically called the jigger. And this is what we usually use as bartenders to measure our tools. But being that most people are at home that we're teaching this to, if you have any type of measuring tool, a little measuring cup like this, that's more than accurate.
Is that a shot glass size?
It's going to hold 2 ounces, so it's a little bit more than a shot glass, but yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't have a jigger or a measuring cup, you can use a tablespoon. 2 tablespoons equals an ounce. So if we say there's going to be 2 ounces of rum, that would be 4 tablespoons. That's kind of the easiest way to remember that. Or you can use a shot glass, whatever, what.
I'm like, as a scientist, this is not really making sense to me because I measure things in shots.
Nope, I understand.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm just picking some fresh mint, and you don't have to have a muddler. You just ball it up in your hand and give it a little smack. It's going to release all that menthol, those aromatics that you really want from a great mojito. And then we have our simple syrup. So simple syrup is literally like the name. It's going to be equal parts of sugar and water.
Mm-hmm. Just dissolved into itself. Yeah, just put it in the microwave or over the stove until all the sugar goes away.
And for this one, we're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. Mm-hmm. And fresh is best, but not everyone can or even wants to do that. So go to a store. Kennesaw is a local South Florida juicery. So we have here fresh lime juice, and I like equal parts lime juice, simple syrup. If you want it a little bit more tart, more acidic, that's fine. Go a little bit higher, but 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. And traditionally, I believe white rum, clear white rum is the way to go for a mojito. I do really enjoy, we're not sponsored by Coconut Cartel anyway, but they are Miami based. So short story, it was a brother and sister. The brother started bringing coconuts in from Central America, like Honduras, Guatemala, to Miami, sold them in the hotels. They sold out immediately. Fast forward, they started using coconut water to dilute their rum. So 40% alcohol, amazing flavor. So we're doing 2 ounces of this Coconut Cartel rum.
So does it have a coconut flavor?
Mild in the background, but it's still a true classic Guatemalan rum. So those flavors you are still going to get in there.
And just to recap, he has in his mixer right now, and he's going to be shaking this, but he has in his mixer 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, which is just sugar water, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, and 2 ounces of rum. Traditionally speaking, it's white rum. Today, we're going to be using this Coconut Cartel out of Miami.
And if you are lucky and you go to Havana, Cuba, you will see them build this whole thing in the glass with club soda. Personally, I'm okay without the club soda, and I'm just going to give it a little soft shake. And this is just going to help roll the drink and incorporate all the ingredients together. And you just start to hear the ice dilute, and then it melts, goes away. Perfect.
Now, it's going away and melting because we're actually using crushed ice to shake. If you're using whole ice, giving it kind of a quick kind of rolling shake, it'll break up the ice a little bit and dilute properly, but it's not going to melt completely like maybe like a crushed ice would.
And then from here, by the way, we got this ice from Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
It's pellet ice and it's perfect. If you don't have a Sonic by you, whatever ice you can get your hands on is just fine.
How much do they charge you for cups of ice at Sonic?
Oh, it's a bag. It was $1.50 a bag.
Yeah, for like
You
3
can buy
pounds.
bagged ice at Sonic.
You can buy bagged
3
ice at
pound
Sonic.
bag.
Yes.
Noted.
Just shove a quick
The
little.
Sonic ice is the best ice to have.
It really is. And if you're anything like me, who chews on ice, who's a maniac who chews on ice, it's exactly what you need.
Also, I mean, it's Florida. It's always hot in here, and anything with crushed ice, like we're usually a sucker for that.
Mm-hmm.
So a little fresh mint sprig, smack it up, and mojito.
Stunning! It's gorgeous. How's it taste? Is it good?
That's so good.
See, I miss a good Miami mojito. So what we're gonna do is we're going to raise our glasses, y'all. And I would love to welcome you all. Raise your glass. I poured vodka into my bubbly because the cups are.
It's a cocktail.
It's a cocktail.
I am a mixologist, drag queen, podcaster, fundraiser, mixologist. So welcome all LGBTQ plus canes from around the world. Cheers, clink, 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 clink. Thank you, Cocktail Uncultured, for doing that demonstration, because now I actually know how to make a mojito opposed to just throwing stuff in a glass.
And don't let bartenders lie to you. Ask for mojito. They're gonna lie and say they hate making them. They're gonna muddle it. No, they're fine.
They like making them, or?
No, you're fine with ordering it. Don't let that deter anyone. These things are a fantastic drink.
Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
Yes.
Because now I know how to do it. So thank you again, Cocktail Uncultured. I will be figuring out how to ship alcohol from Miami to Chicago so I can learn how to do this virtually with you all. So thank you again.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Ms. Toto.
Thank you so much. Mwah.
Mwah. All right, y'all, I hope you learned something. As a scientist, learning about measurements that don't make sense to me is always a journey, especially when it's like ounces of things and I measure things, especially with alcohol and shot glasses. So that was new for me. Maybe I should invest in a jigger or like I do have a cocktail set, but I've never used it in my life. So moving on, enough about me, like just rambling on. I would like to introduce Dr. Vega. So thank you. Yes, behind the scenes, giving me the slides that I need. All right, so Dr. Vega serves as the director of the LGBTQ Student Center at the U. Previously, she served as the inaugural LGBTQ professional at FIU for their LGBTQIA Initiatives program, the first of its kind in any South Florida college or university. That is major. At FIU, she also served as an adjunct professor with the Center for Women's and Gender Studies, assisting in the establishment of their Queer Studies Certificate program. Her research areas include gender, sexuality, social justice, and global human rights issues, sexual minorities in higher education, and mentoring marginalized populations. In 2019, she was bestowed the National LGBTQ Task Force's prestigious Eddie Mcintyre Community Service Award. I promise I can read. She holds her doctorate in higher education leadership from Florida International University and a master's in education and instructional leadership from the University of Illinois at Chicago. Go Chicago. She also holds 2 bachelors of fine arts, and one is in art education and the other in graphic design from the University of Illinois at Chicago. She has worked in higher education for more than 28 years. We are so fortunate to have Dr. Vega working at the U. So everyone put your hands together, even though you're on mute, for Dr. Vega.
Thank you, Ms. Toto. Welcome, everybody. It's wonderful to be here tonight. Thank you to the LGBTQ Canes and our Alumni Engagement Office for having me here this evening. It's super exciting to be here. So despite our crazy year that we've had so far, and COVID keeping many of us kind of, behind our doors and whatnot, we at the center have been extremely busy. We've held so far, in case you didn't know, we've held 30 plus programs and we've had more than 30 participants. And while most of these were virtual for this semester, we did manage to hold a few wonderful outdoor, safely distanced events. We held an event for our coming out week, and we also held a book blast where we were able to give away dozens of books, LGBT themed, to our students, which was supported by our library. So we've also kicked off another wonderful year of our Ibis Mentoring program. And for those of you that don't know what the Ibis Mentoring program is, we pair faculty and staff with students for a year-long opportunity to work with one another. This year we had 20 faculty and staff and 20 students that we have working together. We've also hosted a really successful open mic night, which was planned, developed, and prepared by our own student assistants with student performers who attended. And then lastly, we held our Emerging Leaders Conference with the support of the Aqueduct Foundation for Women. And we've also started a very special student leadership video segment where we highlight on our YouTube channel. If you haven't visited our YouTube channel yet, I'd encourage you to please do so. We've highlighted several of our students who are doing amazing work in our community. So we also want to make sure that you know some of the events that are coming up. Before I talk about some of those, though, I do want to take a minute to say thank you and give cheers to all our alumni who support the center. And I'll also be sure and share with you a quick way that you can help us out with some of our upcoming events. During this semester, we have some great events planned once again. We have our International Women's Day film that's planned with our very own Outshine Film Festival from Miami on March 8th. We will be assisting our OSTEM student group. OSTEM is a group of LGBTQ students who are in the STEM fields. So Ms. Toto, you'll probably like that, right? They're going to be having a career fair that's going to be planned in conjunction with our Topple Career Center taking place in March. And we'll hear a little bit more about that later on. And then we'll also be planning all of our Pride events that'll take place in April, as well as our second virtual Lavender celebration, where we recognize all our graduating Canes who are LGBTQ, and we will be inviting back many of our alumni to join us for that virtual event. One of the last things I'll share with you this evening is that next year we will be piloting the very first Gender and Sexuality Living Learning Community. We're so excited about this. This is a community that we're going to be developing. We've developed already with Housing and Residential Life and the Gender and Sexuality program. The idea behind a Gender and Sexuality Living Learning Community is to provide a safe space on campus where all of our LGBTQIA+ and ally students can live together. They'll be in the Mahoney Residential College. They'll be taking classes together where they'll have the opportunity to learn about leadership and ways to get engaged in the LGBTQ community and learn more about their identity in regards to their gender and sexual orientation. So hopefully, you know, we'll be seeing some of you. We'll be inviting some of our alumni back to speak with some of our students. Hopefully we can get some of you to help us out with that. So if you have not been involved with us yet, we encourage you to do so. For those of you who would like to be involved, there are a couple ways you can do that. One is I would encourage you to subscribe to our Pride Press newsletter. It's a newsletter we have that comes out every Monday, which lists all the events, opportunities, ways that folks can get involved and know of the different events that are happening in the center. I also encourage you to follow us with social media to find out about all of our events. You can search us really easy. Our handle is the same for all of our social media, and it's at LGBTQ. So hopefully those will be some great opportunities and ways that you all can connect with us and find out a little bit more about us. So it is now my pleasure to introduce our next guest, our very own Elizabeth Schwartz. And for those of you, I'll share a little quick bio about Elizabeth, but I am truly honored to be introducing her tonight. So Elizabeth Schwartz graduated from the University of Miami Law School with her Juris Doctorate in 1997. She is nationally recognized advocate for legal rights in the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. She is the published author of Before I Do, A Legal Guide to Marriage, Gay and Otherwise. While her firm equally works with straight and gay clients in matters of family law, estate planning, and probate, She has been at the forefront of providing crucial legal protections for our LGBT families. She lectures locally, nationally, and internationally on the impact of nationwide marriage equality and on the continued importance of LGBT couples protecting their loved ones through estate planning, step parenting, and second parent adoptions. She is a proud Cane, an incredible advocate, a dear friend who I admire and love much. Please join me in welcoming Elizabeth Schwartz.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vega. That was so, so, so sweet. Thank you for that warm introduction. That means just the world to me. And it's so great to see so many of my wonderful fellow alums in the chat. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is such an exciting time to be talking about LGBT legal issues. We, as you don't need me to tell you, newsflash, for the first time in 10 years, we have an LGBT-friendly Congress and White House. All of that means that we can actually get stuff done. And it's so thrilling to be able to be now on the precipice of now what's next, right? I mean, we've been trying just for the last 4 years, just holding the line, right? Just trying to maintain the progress that we had made. So now we really can move forward. And it's just thrilling. As Dr. Vega said, I'm a grad of Law. I graduated in 1997. My wife, Lydia Martin, graduated undergrad in 1987. And so we are a double Cane family, and I'm very happy to be chatting with you tonight a little bit about sort of like, again, now what's next for the LGBT community. I'm checking, yes, 87 she graduated. I don't like to lie. So just a couple quick things. First of all, while we celebrate the White House, right? President Biden is just making life so much better for us already with a couple of executive orders. First, saying very, very clearly that the Supreme Court decision last year, the Bostock decision, the Bostock and Zarda and Stevens decisions, which very clearly said that, like, hello, of course, discriminating against gay or lesbian people or against trans people is an unlawful discrimination on the basis of gender, and therefore violates the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Of course, that's gender discrimination. And so what President Biden did as soon as he got into office was issued an executive order, which made it like extremely clear that it's not only employment, but it's every other area, housing, public accommodations, everything. And we're going to work and get the Equality Act passed, which is going to codify that so that it's very, very clear what exactly, where you can't discriminate, which is everywhere. And of course, you're probably thinking, okay, well, here we are in Florida. We don't have any state, well, not everybody's in Florida, which is great. But we in Florida have not yet managed to pass our Competitive Workforce Act. And so fantastic news that just last week, a week ago today, our Florida Commission on Human Relations also said, yes, the Bostock decision applies here in the state of Florida, and it applies in these other contexts outside of employment. So that's really exciting. But again, we still want to make sure that we're moving towards codifying that in that Competitive Workforce Act, so that if the folks on the commission change, they can't change their mind about what Bostock applies to. I guess like the reason that you guys asked me to talk tonight was maybe a little bit about sort of my journey. So I graduated from the University of Miami School of Law in 97, as we mentioned, and is on my little thing here. And I immediately got very, very involved in the community. I mean, I was already, I ran, I guess it's now called Outlaw. It used to be called Stonewall, which was the LGBT law student group. And I was involved in that in law school and stayed involved in community work once I got out of law school. Worked on the ban to that disallowed LGBT people from adopting, which finally was overturned in 2010, worked on the marriage ban, which was finally overturned in 2015. And I think like the important message there is everyone can make a difference. Like what, you know, I started with like, hey, what do you need, nonprofit LGBT legal organizations? Like I'll stuff, it was called stuffing envelopes back then. You know, but it's like whatever you need to do, whatever they need, you know, I'll research, whatever. And that's what I would ask for like everyone here to do. Like if you believe in the importance of full lived equality, you know, you understand how much more work there is to do. Oh my gosh, I didn't mention President Biden's trans-military ban that he lifted with an executive order. You understand how important it is for the trans community to achieve full lived equality. I mean, my God, just to like not be freaking murdered on the street, like as this pandemic that our trans community is facing, we all need to speak up. And what does speaking up mean? I mean, it means something different for everyone, right? You don't have to have like a law degree or be an amazing artist where you can incorporate social justice messages. Everyone can do absolutely something in your context, in your world. So wait, I'm sorry, you just asked a question. So yes, before I do is, okay, so once we were able to start marrying, immediately we had to start divorcing. Folks were jumping into marriages, whether they should or they shouldn't, not necessarily always being so mindful about it. And as has always been my mantra, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And so I was asked to write this book before I do, which is a legal guide to marriage. And it was published in 2016. So post-marriage equality, we got marriage equality in 2015. So there's honestly, what I would change about this book now is I wouldn't just have it be called Before I Do, because there's also lots to know post marriage, right? Lots to be aware of. Wish I read that book. I hear you, David Poole. It's never too late. You can, you'll get it right the next time. But I'm so grateful for how, mindful so many in our community have been about marriage. I feel like we're sort of like we do with a lot of neighborhoods. I feel like the LGBT community is like, taking the institution of marriage and kind of gentrifying a little bit, like making it a little bit more mindful. And Dr. Trey is going to be talking about mindfulness. I think a lot of us are just being deliberate, which is great. And most importantly, I think that we are learning that we have value, right? I mean, I never thought I thought marriage was like bougie, silly institution. It's kind of hetero, who cares? Until then I really realized that there's kind of like a direct line between the ways in which we are disrespected as a community, as individuals, as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, pansexual, queer, ally, the way that we are treated or we are delegitimized in our lives, and violence being done against us. So you can easily see how critical it is for us to raise our voices, tell our stories, and that leads to change, which leads to the respect that we so freaking deserve, right? I mean, it's a kind of a straight line. So some of the tips that I would add now, I think that's a great question. I mean, again, I feel like everyone needs to, first of all, talk to the accountant before you get married, because sometimes you're going to be getting that big fat tax bill, and like marriage equality then won't be so cute for you. You're going to be like, uh-oh, is this the equality I was fighting for? I do not like it. So run those numbers before you get married. If you are co-parenting a child, don't just rely on the birth certificate. It's strongly recommended to also confirm those parental rights with an adoption. That's also just super recommended, really, really important. And again, like, tell our stories. So the thing to look at on the horizon, we're keeping marriage equality, we're keeping it, but like you may want to pre-order your wedding cake. we have a very, very strong chance of having a pretty devastating loss at the US Supreme Court this coming year in the Fulton versus Philadelphia case, which is one of those religious exemptions cases. And so the reason I'm connecting Tell Your Stories with these religious freedom cases is that, you know, guess what, you guys, this is a nonsense paradigm that's been set up. That's been set up saying, oh, you're either a person of faith or you support LGBT equality. Well, obviously, many of us, I'm looking at the participants, I know a lot of us are people of faith and are members of the community or our allies. So it's important for us to come out and to really speak volumes about our lives, our families, and really to everyone. Like I come out to like the freaking dry cleaner, you know what I mean? Like I just think it's really important because many times you'll be the first queer or trans, gay, whatever person, like you're going to be the first person that person has ever met from the LGBTQ plus community. So it's really important for us to share our identities, to share our stories, to share how freaking normal and frankly often boring we are, and that is often how hearts and minds are changed, and then people will have you in mind when they go to the voting booth. And specifically for our trans community, you know, many folks now feel like they know somebody who's gay or lesbian, but they don't always know someone who's trans. So even if you are a trans ally, like be sure that you are lifting up the stories of trans people. One of the things like I weirdly loved about the trans military ban, hated the trans military ban, but I loved that all of a sudden the stories about trans people like in the media became about veterans and service members and not like whatever the narrative was about like predators in the bathroom or something, which is like not a thing, by the way. It's like a made up hysterical thing. So sometimes it's important for us to share the narratives of others in our community, others that perhaps are more vulnerable. I'm the co-chair of the National Board of SAGE, which is Advocacy and Services for LGBT Elders, and how so important it is for us to also lift up the stories of those that are the most vulnerable among us, right? Whether it's our youth, our elders, to talk about the discrimination that they face, the very pioneers who got us to marriage equality and to so much progress are now living out their golden years in some cases with a real lack of dignity and having to go back in the closet. It's a heartbreaker. So that's my tale. That's my ask for you is to, you know, live out and proud and to share your stories and the stories of your friends and others in our community to fight against this nonsense paradigm that we're seeing, that it's people of faith versus the LGBT community. That's just not true. So anyway, I'll stop preaching for now, but I just want to really thank you so much for having me. Thank you for like lifting up the concerns of LGBT legal issues, because we're not done yet. Marriage was not the finish line by a long shot. Thank you each for your engagement, your involvement as Canes. Thank you for getting yourselves to whatever table you can get yourself to. As my other mantra is, if you're not on the table, you're on the menu. So just get out there, tell those stories, and thank you so much for having me. Miss Toto, back to you.
That was so good. It now inspired me to not get married.
Oh my God, I didn't mean to do that. I just get married mindfully. I'm a very happily married girl.
I'm going to Valentine's Day is on Sunday, so maybe I will try to run out and get that book from my damn boyfriend so he can figure out if he wants to marry me or not.
Go to it, sister. All right, I got your back.
Thank you so much. All right, y'all. So I saw in the chat, they've been telling you to download Kahoot. So get your Kahoot app ready. We are about to test your knowledge. I am not playing. I probably don't know any of the answers. Actually, I might. I mean, I guess we'll find out. So load up your app, honeys. The pin is right there, 422-5975. It's really easy to play. It's like very easy to do. So do it. So download the app, and it's like a little timed quiz situation. So get it together. And yes, as Carol said, there are prizes. So y'all don't want to lose. Don't cheat either, because I know y'all have your computers up. Do not cheat. You have it on your phone and you might have your computer in front of you, but do not cheat. That takes out the fun in the girls who know the answers. So I will know. I will know if you cheat. So, ooh, I like the little noise. Okay. Are we ready? We're gonna hit start. Let's hit start. Welcome to Kahoot. All right, y'all. Here we go. I'm not even playing. I have anxiety. What was the name of the Ellen episode where she comes out of the closet? The melon episode, the puppy episode, the kitten episode, or the coconut episode? And if you don't know, just guess. I'm a big fan of guessing. Okay. So the correct answer is it 12? Is it 12 people said the puppy episode? I love that. Good job. Let's see. Okay, also, if you didn't know, it's timed. So like the quicker you say yes to the answer, the more points you get. So don't second guess yourself. All right, next question. The movie Birdcage is based on which movie? La Cage aux Folles, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Victor Victoria, or Cabaret? Oh, this is different waiting music. And time. The answer is La Cage aux Folles. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I don't speak French. I speak Spanish. Who's winning? Ooh, Lizzie. All right. All right. Number 3. Hugo Weaving, who played Agent Smith in The Matrix, also starred as Tick in which movie? Hedwig and the Angry Inch, Mamma Mia, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, or Brokeback Mountain? Brokeback Mountain is a traumatizing movie. I do not like it. How are you supposed to bottom after eating beans? The answer is not Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, the yellow one. So good job. Who's the winner? Who's the winner? Who's the winner? Okay. AME. Also could be pronounced Amy. Next. Who was the first actor to win an Oscar for playing a gay role in a movie? William Hurt, Tom Hanks, Heath Ledger, or Dirk Bogarde? I wonder if any of these people are actually gay who played the gay role. But representation is important. And the answer is William Hurt. And next question. All right, y'all, focus. First LGBTQ movie to win Best Picture that had a gay character as its protagonist was Brokeback Mountain, Moonlight, Call Me By Your Name, or Milk. Think about like when the movies came out. It's like a really easy one. And the answer is Moonlight. Also, this is like a fun fact. So the playwright, I believe he was a playwright, is actually from Miami and used to work out at the Brickell Four Seasons gym where I used to work. His name is Terrell, so look him up. Okay, AME still in the top. I see you. All right, y'all. In what year did the US Supreme Court nationally legalize same-sex marriage? 2012, 13, 14, or 15? I absolutely do not know this answer.
I failed at my job then.
No, you didn't fail. I could also pull it up right here because I know I didn't have to.
No cheating.
Have the answer. Okay, the answer is 2015.
Proud of everybody for knowing that. Yay!
No, I have my little sheet over here where I can see exactly what you said, and I took notes. I am a studious lady. Next question. What year were the Stonewall riots? 67, 68, 69, or 70? Three, two, and one. 1969. That was also the year that we faked the moon landing. So remember that. Okay, I see whoever AME is at the top. Hold your spot. You got this. We never went. That's why I said fake the moon landing. We didn't go. Who was the first openly gay elected official in the United States? Thank you. Kathy Kozachenko, Barney Frank, Harvey Milk, or Tammy Baldwin. I'm going to try that name again. Kozachenko. Kathy Kozachenko. I can read. Barney Frank, Harvey Milk, or Tammy Baldwin. Answer is Kathy Kozachenko. That was a tough one. I would have just said Milk because that was the one that I knew. Up next, what was the first English language lesbian themed novel? The Bebo Brinker Chronicles, The Well of Loneliness, The Color Purple, or The Ruby Fruit Jungle? The Well of Loneliness. I should probably read that. I have never read that book. Ooh, Lizzie coming through. I see you. Remember, y'all, the faster you answer. In which city did Gianni Versace open his first boutique? Paris, Florence, Milan, or New York? The Versace mansion is also in Miami, which I believe was purchased by Michael Kors, which doesn't make any sense in my fantasy. The answer is Milan. Think about it. He's Italian. Lizzie, good job. Good job. 11. When was the first Women's Music Festival? 74, 75, 76, or 77? I really don't know the answer to this either. I was not alive. The answer is 1976. Nat. Okay. Things we love to see. Oh, tied with Fam. I see you. The Laramie Project is based on whose life? Ryan White, Gerard Conley, Dan Savage, or Matthew Shepard? Okay, everyone kind of knew that except the three of you who didn't. So Matthew Shepard, yes. That stayed at the top. When was the first rainbow flag created? 69, 73, 78, or 82? If I was to guess, I would say 69 because that seems like a good answer for things like when we faked the moon landing and when Stonewall happened, but I actually have no idea. 78, okay, there we go. Now I know the answer. Yes, Nat, good job. Who is credited as creating the rainbow flag? Susan B. Anthony, Gilbert Baker, Harvey Milk, Daniel Cassar, or Michael Page? I like all the new flags, they're cute. Gilbert Baker. Susan B. Anthony was not an answer, unfortunately. Hugh and Ed, I see y'all coming up. Andrew, I see you. It's possible. Remember, answer fast. Don't guess. We're on 15. How long was the longest rainbow flag? 5,820 feet, 3,960 feet, 2,640 feet, 1,320 feet. 525,600, 5,280 feet. How many feet are in a mile? It's a great question. Nat, okay, staying at the top. 1 mile, okay, good. Now I know that. In what year was the first legal same-sex marriage in the United States? 2002, 3, 4, or 5? Should I look at my cheat sheet and figure out the answer? No, I will not do that. Yay! 2004. I don't know where it happened. That was not a question that I was prepared to answer. But it did happen in the United States of America.
Massachusetts. It was in Massachusetts after the Goodridge decision.
There we go. That is
You're
why we have other educated people. On the Zoom call. All right, Andrew B coming in with the lead. The year Mean Girls came out. That makes sense. How many stripes are on the trans pride flag? If you get this wrong, I will be very upset. 4, 5, 6, or 7. Y'all, if you don't know what the trans flag looks like, I'm so sorry. But y'all, come on. Like, I feel like that flag is more iconic than like the pride flag. It's just a prettier colors, prettier colors. There are 5 colors on the transgender pride flag. All right, Andrew B, first to break into the 10,000s, my love. Good job. These are like the final 3. Who was the first openly gay athlete to be drafted into the NFL? Brian Sims, Michael Sam, Connor Mertens, or David Kope? It's actually me. I'm the correct answer, but I just think they left my name off of the list, which is okay. Okay, but get this answer right, please. I wonder if Andrew's gonna keep it. He's gonna keep it. Got this. Michael Sam. I remember that when he came out with his white twink boyfriend. That was a scandal. Oh, staying at the top. Let's see. Up next. Number 19. Who is thought to be the richest LGBTQ person alive? Elton John, Tim Cook, Ellen DeGeneres, or Giorgio Armani? It's definitely not me at all. I don't know who I would say it was. I do. Yes, I do. Which I'm not going to give my answer of what I would guess. Giorgio Armani, I would not have guessed that. I would have said Tim Cook, to be honest, because all of us have Apple products. Andrew, I see you sitting at the top. Let's see if we can get this last question. If anyone's going to knock Andrew out. Last one. In what year did the US government repeal the Don't Ask, Don't Tell ban on gay military service members? 2008, 10, 12, or 13? I do remember this very vividly. I was like, oh no, I can get drafted now. I don't like this. 2010, that was the year I graduated high school. Thanks for participating, y'all. Let's see the winners. Top 3, Nat. There are prizes for the top 3, by the way. Lizzie, okay, this does make sense in my fantasy. And the winner is, drumroll everybody, Andrew B. Yes! We love it. We love it. We love it. All right, y'all. So if you won, if you were one of the top 3, okay, so first and second place, I'll get a $50 voucher with some swag from the bookstore on campus. And third place gets surprise swag from the bookstore. So I love swag, especially you swag. So please just like give your contact information, like your email, in the chat, or email Carol. And Carol, please put your email in the chat. It's carolshipman@miami.edu. That way you can secure your prizes and get your free stuff. Sound good? Thank you for participating, everybody. That was great. I love like when virtual things are interactive and you all participate. So thank you. So moving on, I would like to introduce Dr. Trey. Let's get the slide up. Stunning. Look at that handsome face. Dr. Trey Williamson works with his family at Williamson Cadillac Buick GMC and also teaches part-time at the Miami Herbert Business School. He recently completed his doctorate at which explored mindfulness meditation in the workplace. I need that because I have a very feeble and unstable brain. Trey is hoping to offer more mindfulness opportunities in the business school alongside others doing a beautiful job with mindfulness in the broader community. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Trey.
Thank you so much, Ms. Toto. It is great to be here with you tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. I must say that after that excitement, It is the idea to use mindfulness to kind of come down a little bit so that we coast into the rest of our evening with a little bit of kind of an afterglow after this awesome event. So we're going to talk a little bit about what mindfulness is and why it kind of is relevant to the University of Miami, and then also kind of practice a little bit to kind of get that calm, peaceful mindfulness going. So, all right, so mindfulness is a trending topic. It started off as a technology to help pain reduction, but it's been deployed to do all kinds of wonderful things. It helps with anxiety, depression, even all the way out to blood pressure and diabetes. And it's a very simple technique, but it's something that they're using more and more in hospitals, universities, and also corporations all across the world. Now, why it matters to the University of Miami. It really is on the leading edge of mindfulness research and practice. In fact, we have one of the only in the world Mindfulness Research and Practice Initiative. So this brings together the expertise of Dr. Amishi Jha. She's a world-renowned neuroscientist who studies mindfulness, the benefits of it, in particular, working memory and focused attention and executive control. And then we have Dr. Scott Rogers from the law school, who started a first of its kind mindfulness in law program, where you can do, in the law school, a different mindfulness offering every day. And then other law schools in the world have emulated this, actually. And so together, the two of them do bring this as like a real anchor to the University of Miami. And it's also popping out in other parts of the university as well. And the good news is that a lot of it is virtual now that you can experience. So for example, the University of Miami libraries have a mindfulness offering every Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. that's hosted by the wonderful Kelly Miller, thank you. And on Tuesdays from 1 to 1:30, the Lowe Art Museum has the art of mindfulness, bringing together aesthetics and looking at art and recognizing that every action that we do can be done in a mindful way. Also at the Wellness Center, both in person and virtually now, they have a series of MBSR classes, mindfulness-based stress reduction. It's an 8-week program where you do a deep dive into learning about mindfulness and then really getting the benefits of it for yourself. So what is mindfulness? It's pretty simple, actually. It's really just paying attention, but in a particular way, which is to say, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. Okay, what does that mean, non-judgmentally? The way that consciousness works, they have found, is that our mind is constantly swinging from thought to thought, often about the past or the future, and so it's kind of disorganized. And then when anything happens in our life, there's the thing that happens, just the discrete little thing. And then our experience actually has more to do not with the thing, but everything we do around that, the story that we create about it. So let's take, anything, for example, a red light. Okay, you come to a red light. A red light is just a red light. But depending on how you're feeling in that moment, or what your approach is, or whether you're on time or not, maybe you're late and you get to that red light and all of a sudden it's the worst thing in the world, and why is this always happening to you? Oh my God, the world is against me at this goddamn red light, blah, blah, blah. So it's a very bad thing. On the other hand, let's say you're not running late and you want to check a text message, but you want to be responsible about being a driver in Miami traffic or wherever in the world. And so you get to a red light and it gives you a little pause so that you can look at your text message responsibly. And so then a red light is a good thing. It's really just about the attitude. So how do you do mindfulness then? It's a practice. It's never perfect. It's just a practice more and more to keep that focused attention on the present moment, right? But it's practice with an attitude. So I want to say that it's like practice with an attitude, but not that kind of attitude. It's practice usually in a contemplative or meditative way, but then with this attitude of non-judgment, not bringing the story to it, not elaborating in our minds about what that little thing is or reacting in an emotional way to what that thing is, but actually allowing yourself to be not attached to a particular outcome, to be open, to have an open heart, an open mind, to be curious about what can come, and optimistic about what can come, accepting anything that does come, and ultimately compassion. compassion for yourself, for others, for your experience, including your mindfulness practice. So what do you say? We should give it a try, right? I think the best way to get present-centered awareness is just to kind of see how you feel right now. Where is your body? I advise that you can bring yourself into a stable, upright position, because mindfulness is about focused attention. Relaxing, yes, but also about this focused stillness. And what better way to kind of understand the present moment than to breathe, to be conscious of your breath. So breathe in and breathe out. Gently, warmly breathing in, breathing out. I like to think of all of the thoughts and noise that I have in my life as kind of around my head. So as I breathe, I'm gently going to bring that energy down a little bit more grounded, not in my head so much, but my focused attention in my body is coming down through my neck as you breathe. Breathing down your focused attention in your body down through your shoulders, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Now down through the beautiful area of your heart, breathing in and out, and lower through your abdomen, breathing in, breathing out. And now to the lower part of your body, where you're feeling more calm, more grounded, a little slower, a little more thoughtful, a little more deliberate. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Now you'll notice, of course, that the thoughts come. You might be thinking about what the trivia was earlier. That's the past. Thinking about what comes next, what you're going to have for dinner after this. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. The thoughts will always come. Our minds do that. They're like a monkey going from branch to branch in a tree. It never stops. But what we can do with the mindful attitude is just acknowledge the thoughts, gently release them, and bring your focus back to your present-centered awareness. In this case, your breath, my voice. Breathing in and out, and in and out, in and out. Sometimes the thoughts will stop and you can experience that bliss of a quiet, still moment. And then over time you develop an awareness that those thoughts, that elaboration on your experience, is something that you can always acknowledge and gently release and bring your focus back to whatever it is that you're doing. It gives you a choice. How much you want to focus on something, or even what story you want to write about it. And with that, I'll remind you of a wonderful quote from a brilliant thinker, Viktor Frankl, who wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. As you breathe, he said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So thank you for allowing me this space to share a little bit about mindfulness and a little bit of practice. And with this space, I choose to celebrate this wonderful organization. I'm so excited to be part of LGBTQ Canes and grateful for the work that you're doing. With that, I return you to the fantastic Ms. Toto.
I was muted. Thank you so much for that. I feel calmer. I feel alive because I feel like I don't get enough mindfulness or practice mindfulness enough in my day. And I really think I should do that. So let's take some notes from Dr. Trey and really like lean into our mindfulness practice. And I'm sure if you wanted to, you could reach out to Dr. Trey and get some more notes of how to do that. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Roberto for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Ms. Toto, and thank you to all our guests and, of course, our participants for making tonight a success. Dr. Vega, thank you for your time. Liz Schwartz, Dr. Williamson, and, of course, Cocktail Uncultured. So be sure to support that Canes Biz. Before we close, I'd like to share one last poll question for your feedback, and we'll get that poll up in just a second. All right, so you got 3 simple questions. Did you enjoy tonight's event? Would you recommend this to a fellow Cane? And of course, very important for us in order for us to program, to make great programs for you, what are the topics would you like to see featured in a Cane conversation? And as always, thank you for your time, for taking the time to answer. And, we would like to also let you know about some upcoming events, and we're going to get that up there in a second. We have the Distinguished Alumni Lecture Series that's going to be taking place on February 16th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time via Zoom. It's going to be moderated by Dr. Dean Verona from the Law School. You're going to join a panel of distinguished alumni in discussion regarding the future of the Supreme Court. Very, very important. We've got the LGBTQ Career Fairs happening on March 11th from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the first ever LGBTQ-focused career fair hosted by the Topic Career Center, OSTEM, and the LGBTQ Center. So don't miss this opportunity to meet with employers that value LGBTQ diversity in the workplace. Very, very important. And if you'd like to stay up to date on what the LGBTQ Affinity Group and LGBTQ Student Center are up to, just make sure you follow us on social media. So once again, thank you to everyone who joined us. We hope you enjoyed the program. And if I could just get all the participants back for that iconic U shot right before we go. Come on, throw it up, throw it up. All right. Have a good night, y'all.